I'm just going to do a very short, kind of 15-20 minutes, shoulders kind of reset. Just for if you've been doing lots of climbing, lots of walking, lots of carrying a heavy rucksack, cycling, and this is a great session to do. So you will need a band for these ones. And we're just going to take a few moments just to arrive. And again, we're going to start in a seated position because we're going to work again a little bit into the upper body. So then just come into any comfortable seated positions. Again, sitting cross-legged, sitting on the knees, sitting with the legs out in front. And again, we can just take a few moments here to arrive. And again, we're just going to slowly start by just kind of relaxing the arms. Just kind of allowing those arms just to become nice and heavy. Just kind of rolling the shoulder blades back and kind of in a little bit. So we're just kind of opening up through the front of the chest there. And again, we're just going to relax those arms down. So we're going to start by stretching out a little bit through the neck. So we're just going to kind of drop our kind of right ear towards our right shoulder. We're just going to allow that kind of left arm to become nice and heavy. And then we're going to get our kind of left hand and we're just going to gently turn the palm. I'm just going to press that palm down towards the floor. Okay, just take a couple of breaths here. And then we're just going to play around a little bit here with the position of the head. So again, just keeping the right ear moving towards the right shoulder. We're going to gently kind of drop that chin in a little. And then again, we can just gently drop the head back a little. And then just bringing that head back to that kind of starting position with the right ear towards the right shoulder. We're now going to bring that left arm out to shoulder level. Again, we're just going to really press through those left fingertips. Again, relaxing the right ear towards the right shoulder, stretching through the left side of the neck, top of the left shoulder. And then again, play around a little bit here. So again, if we tuck our chin in a little, how does that feel? And again, if we drop the head back a little bit. And then again, bringing that head back to that starting position, right ear towards right shoulder. And then finally, just getting that left arm out and wrapping it around the back and bringing it and kind of maybe just tucking it in towards the opposite hip. Or again, you can kind of brace sometimes against the opposite upper arm, so against that right upper arm. And again, keep right ear moving towards right shoulder. And again, if we tuck the chin in a little bit here, how does that feel? And again, if we drop the head back a little bit. And then again, we can just slowly release that left arm and bring the head back to center. And then doing all that on the opposite side, so again, just dropping that kind of left ear towards the left shoulder this time. Again, allowing that right arm to go nice and heavy, so we stretch kind of the top of the shoulder, right side of the neck. Now again, we can get our right palm here, and we're just going to press it a little bit down towards the floor. And then again, play around a little bit. So again, if we tuck the chin in, drop that head back. And then again, we can bring the head back to center. And then again, we can take that right arm out shoulder level. Again, reach with right arm, press through the fingertips, keeping that left ear moving towards the left shoulder. And then again, tucking the chin in a little bit here, see how that feels. Dropping that head back a little bit. And then again, bring that head back to center. And then finally, just getting that right arm and again, wrapping it around back towards the opposite hip, or again, bracing it against the left upper arm, and keeping that right ear moving towards the right shoulder. And again, we can tuck chin in a little. And again, we can drop the head back. And then we can slowly come back to center. And then now we're just going to clasp the hands behind the back. And again, we're just going to gently lift those arms up a little. And then we're just going to bring our hands towards that kind of outside of the right hip again. Rolling the right shoulder blade back and down, squeezing the right elbow in towards the left, squeezing the palms together. And again, we can just drop our kind of right ear towards the right shoulder. Again, play around a little bit with the position of the head, see how it feels. And then again, we can bring the head back to center. We can again just gently reach those arms up behind us. A little bit of a stretch. And then again, we can bring those hands towards the outside of that left hip this time. Rolling the left shoulder blade back and down, squeezing the left elbow in towards the right. Then dropping our left ear towards the left shoulder. And then again, play around a little bit here, tucking the chin in. How does that feel? Dropping the head back. And then again, bring those arms back, that head back to center. And again, we can just lift those arms back up behind. And then again, we can just relax. Then again, a little bit more working here through the front, opening up through the front. Again, really good if you do lots of climbing and cycling, anything where you're slightly curled in, again, carrying a big heavy rucksack. So again, I'm just going to, again, work a little bit to that kind of cow head arms here. So we're going to get our left hand and we're going to start to kind of turn our left hand. So kind of bringing that left arm up behind. And then we're going to start to bend our left elbow. We're just going to bring that left hand somewhere kind of between the shoulder blades. And again, we can bring our right hand underneath. You might just hold on to your forearm. You might hold on to your elbow. You might inch those fingertips a little bit further up between the shoulder blades. And then again, this is a very strong stretch. So again, you can just hang out here. You can, I find with these ones, squeeze, so as if I'm trying to kind of squeeze my kind of left shoulder blade onto my back. And then again, you can just stay here. Or again, if you want to do a little bit more work into the top of the shoulder and the neck, you can again drop your kind of right ear towards the right shoulder. But it is pretty intense. Cool, gently there, guys. And then again, we can bring the head back to center. And again, we go. So now we can come in from the opposite side. So we lift that left arm up, drop that left hand in between the shoulder blades. Coming in from the top this time. Again, we can bring our right hand over and maybe hold on to the forearm, maybe hold on to the elbow. We can maybe inch those fingertips a little bit further down this back. Again, this one is where we need to kind of play around. So again, if you like me, you start to really lift up through your kind of ribs. Just relax down a little bit again. Soften your lower back and your belly. You might slightly curl in there as you do that. Again, squeeze that kind of left shoulder blade onto the back. And then again, we can just hang out here. Or again, this is a very intense stretch. Very, very good for climbers, cyclists. And again, if you want to, you can, again, slightly tilt. So you're kind of opening up through that kind of rib cage area. And again, through your lats and stuff, which again, you do a lot with your arms, get very, very kind of tight. And then again, we can come back, center, we can just release. Now we can go on to the opposite side. So again, we can get our right hand, we can turn, bring that right hand up behind. We can again start to bend that right elbow, bring that right hand somewhere kind of between the shoulder blades. Again, you can bring your opposite arm under, maybe hold onto the forearm, maybe hold onto your elbow. And then again, just kind of squeeze that right shoulder blade onto the back. And again, we can just stay here. Again, you don't need to hold it if it's really uncomfortable, or you can just hold your wrist or your forearm. And again, stay here, or if you want to, just drop left ear towards the left shoulder. And then again, we'll move it back to center. We can now again release that arm. We can again bring that arm up. Drop that hand coming in between the shoulder blades and the top. Bring that opposite arm up and over if you want to. Again, maybe hold on to the forearm, hold on to the elbows. Inch those fingertips a little bit further down the back. Again, just relax the lower back here, the belly. And again, squeeze that kind of right shoulder blade onto the back. And I actually feel that right up through my kind of right up into here, up towards my elbow. I have a little bit of impingement here in my elbow. And then again, we can stay here. Or again, if it feels okay, we can also slightly tilt. And then again, we can just release, and we can just gently bring those arms back out. Just give those arms a bit of a shrug. So now again, to continue working a little bit here, opening up through the front. I'm also going to do a session where we work through the back. You can use a block here. So again, if you want to, you can have a block. We're going to come into a little child stretch here. So we're just going to come into any child that feels comfortable. So knees together, knees hip distance, knees wide out to the side. And we're just going to gently kind of drop down into any child stretch here. So again, we can bring the forehead onto the floor, we can bring the forehead towards the floor. We can have our arms just stretched out in front. If you want to add a little bit of kind of extra kind of opening up through the front of the chest here, we can use a block. So we can have a block on any level. And again, we can just kind of bring our hands onto the block, drop those hands off the edge of the block, bring the forehead here onto the floor. And then again, we can just gently take that block out to the side. And then we're just going to slowly here come up onto all fours. So we're going to come into our little puppy pose, getting really good for opening up through the front of the chest there. So again, we're just going to drop down onto our forearms. And then again, we're just going to walk our forearms again a little bit more out towards the outside edges of the mat. And then again, just relaxing that forehead onto the floor here. Then allowing the chest to sink down as much as is comfortable. Again, we can have the feet flat on the floor, we can have toes tucked under, we can have bum a little bit further forward or back. And then again, we can just walk those arms a little bit further forward if that feels okay. And again, as we do that, just allow the chest to sink towards the floor. And again, if it feels okay in this position, we can turn our head onto the side for a few breaths. And again, we turn the head to the opposite side. And then again, we can just slowly now just slide back into any little child pose here. Just take a few breaths. And then we can just come back up here onto all fours. And then we're just going to do a little bit of work here into our hands. So what we're going to do here is again come into that flat back position. And we're just going to start by kind of turning those hands in a little bit. And then we're just going to see how it feels to turn them in a little bit more. And then we can go back. And then turn them outwards. How does that feel? And then again, just turn them as far to face in as you can. And then again, just come back. And then now we can just give a little bit of shake out. And again, we can just clasp those hands together and squeeze them forwards. Bring them up over the head a little bit. A little side stretch. Little side stretch. And then again, wide out to the sides. And then we're just going to come on to our backs now. We're just going to finish off with a couple of little twists. So again, we're just going to come down onto our back. We're going to come into what I always think of as a little hip twist, but again, really good for opening up through the front of the shoulders, chest here. So again, we're going to come into cactus arms. So again, we're just going to do that one where we just gently have the elbows kind of bent, the elbows roughly in line with the shoulders, or again, if you find that makes your hands kind of lift off the floor, just maybe take your arms a little bit up. So again, just get that really nice openness here through the front of the chest. Then walk the feet to about hip distance, or slightly wider than hip distance. Again, we can just slowly have a little side to side here. And then again, the next one, we drop our legs over towards that right side, or whichever side you want to go to is fine. We're just going to allow those legs to sink towards the floor. And then again, we're just going to really kind of allow the upper body here to relax down. So again, back of the hands, back of the shoulders, back of the sternum. We're just going to have a real sense of opening up through the front of the body here. And again, we can bring those legs back to center. This time we're going to straighten the right leg. We're going to keep our left foot on the floor, left knee bent. We're going to bring our right hand over towards that left thigh, left knee. We budge our hips a couple of inches over towards left side. And then we just draw that kind of left leg over. And again, we just play around a little bit here with the right arm. So again, we might keep it cactus arm. We might slide it a little bit higher. We might take it more to shoulder level, whichever feels best here. Again, just looking for that sense of openness here from the front of the chest, front of the shoulder into that upper arm. Again, we just allow the back of the hand, the back of that left shoulder, the left side of the chest to sink towards the floor. And then again, we can slowly come back onto our backs. Do all that on the opposite side. So again, we can bring those arms back to shoulder, back to cactus arms. We can walk our feet to about hip distance, wider than hip distance. We can start with that little window wiper again of the legs, side to side. And then again, the next time we drop our legs over towards that left side, we can again just relax here, again just allow the back of the hands, back of the shoulders, back of the sternum just to sink towards the floor. And the head can be in any position, which feels comfortable. I always actually have my head supported on the block, just because I find it easy to talk, but again, you don't have to. And then again, we can bring those legs back to center. We can straighten out that left leg. We can keep the right foot on the floor this time. Budge the hips a couple of inches over towards the right side. Again, we can bring our left hand over towards right thigh, right knee this time. We can again draw that right leg over. And then again, play around here with the left arm. So again, does shoulder level feel better? Does cactus arm feel good? Can we slide it a little bit higher if we turn the head? And then again, we can come back to center. And then we just relax here for a few breaths. We again just allow the body to become nice and Feeling at the back of the head, back of the shoulders, glutes, calves, heels, sink down into the floor. You let go of any tension, any discomfort anywhere in the body. Just breathe from the top of the head right down into the fingers, the toes. And again, as we exhale, just allow everything to soften, relax, release. And again, we just breathe from the top of the head right down into the fingers, the toes. And again, as we exhale, we just allow the weight of the body to just sink down into the floor. And we let everything relax, release, soften. And then we'll just gently find our way up into any seated position to finish. Thank you, guys.